expect to see an Applebee's USDA Choice Top Sirloin searing to smoky oak perfection on a new wood-fired grill? Just wait until you see the price. Wood-fired steak with 2 sides for just $9.99. Now for a limited time, only at Applebee's.
The investment you've made in your John Deere equipment is too valuable to just shed it and forget it this fall. Get your tractor, air drill, planter, sprayer, baler, combine, or header scheduled for a postseason performance inspection at one of the 8 Gooseneck Implement Store locations. If you schedule by January 1st, 2017, Gooseneck will provide 100 miles of free trucking to their facility. And any John Deere parts you may need installed by Gooseneck certified technicians will maintain the used season warranty for most equipment. Optimize performance and prevent downtime. Call your local Gooseneck store today.
We think the fire started in our bedroom. Thankfully, we all did get out safe. The house ended up being a total loss. There were a lot of tears. Our Farmers Union insurance agent was there the next day, and he not only came to see how we were doing, but he brought us a check to say, you know what, here's a little bit of money to get you guys going, and had us paid out in full within 2 weeks.
Farmers Union Insurance. Simply different.
We picked the right insurance company.
I am never getting married. Never. Guaranteed.
You picked a beautiful ring.
Thank you. We're never having kids.
I love it here.
We are never moving to the suburbs. We are never getting one of those. We're never having another kid.
I'm pregnant.
I'm never letting go.
For all the nevers in life, talk to State Farm agent Kelly Thorman in Minot. State Farm is there.
Meet the professionals of Trinity Sports Medicine. Trinity Sports Medicine has been serving the region's athletes and physically active population for more than 25 years. All of the athletic trainers at Trinity Sports Medicine are licensed in North Dakota and work side by side with Sports Medicine Medical Director Dr. Dawn Mattern to ensure the best possible care. Our professionals provide specialized medical care for preventing and treating injuries for the active people in our community. These medical professionals work hard to keep you healthy. But if an injury does happen, you can rely on the skilled athletic trainers to get you moving or back in the game again. It doesn't matter if you play for a competitive sports team or enjoy being active to stay healthy. You are part of the Trinity Sports Medicine family.
When you need a windshield chip repaired, why settle for just professional service when you can receive personal service too? At Choice Auto Glass, we take a hassle-free approach to replacing cracked and broken glass on cars and trucks by working directly with your insurance. But it's more than that. It's the attention we put into making sure your vehicle is returned to you clean and in proper repair. Choice Auto Glass. We're not the only one. We're simply the best one.
Applebee's USDA Choice Top Sirloin isn't just a top choice cut of meat. For under $10, it's a top choice for your wallet. Applebee's new hand-cut wood-fired grilled steak. Now only $9.99 for a limited time. Only at Applebee's.
I had got a call. They thought my house might be on fire. My wife was at work and my son was at school. Smoke was just rolling out and then you'd see the flames coming up. A very helpless feeling watching, knowing there's nothing you can do. You just stand there and watch. Very emotional. Farmers Union Insurance did such an excellent job with us. I can't imagine any insurance company doing a better job. Dreams, memories, everything was put back together the way it should be to get us right back on course.
Farmers Union Insurance. Simply different.
Looking for a mower? Look no further than Gooseneck Implement. At Gooseneck, we have the right John Deere lawn equipment for a range of homeowners. We offer riding mowers, zero-turn mowers, utility tractors, and even gators for the off-roading enthusiast. And when you buy from Gooseneck, you get the assurance that your John Deere equipment will have the parts and service support when you need it. Stop by Gooseneck Implement today and find the John Deere mower that's right for you.
If you can find a better steak in Minot, go there. Otherwise, try the biggest, juiciest steaks you've ever had at Elevation Restaurant at Minot Country Club. Open to the public all year long.
Adams has Brent's driving back, post is there, it's in! Davison across. They're checking in. Tip, it's in. Alex Adams. Oh, my.
Rebound back to the side of the net. It's in. Prince.
Your Minot Tauros remain in first place in the Central Division of the North American Hockey League after a weekend split this past weekend. First, the home game, Minot played Bismarck on Friday night at Pepsi Rink at Mesa Arena. Great crowd on hand on Friday night. More importantly than a 3-2 win, 293 teddy bears were thrown onto the ice after Alex Adams' 14th goal here in his rookie year. All those teddy bears going to charity. The following night, Tauros not so lucky. They were in Aberdeen. They fell by a score of 3-2. It's the week of the 14th of December. This is Tauros Weekly presented by Farmers Union Insurance. I'm Nick Hulberg, your host. We're live at Elevation here at Minot Country Club. On tonight's show, we'll talk to Marty Murray, the head coach and GM of the Tauros, his thoughts heading into the Christmas break. We'll also talk to Kyle Craddick and the goaltender Lucas Murray. Well, let's get into it. First with the weekend scores from the weekend that we just had run by. The Tauros won again 3-2. That game on Friday night at the Pepsi Rink against their arch rival, the Bismarck Bobcats, who are absolutely struggling. The Cats in the bottom of the basement almost of the Central Division of the North American Hockey League, but they always find a way to put up a tough fight in the Dakota Subway Cup. They outshot Minot in the hockey game 30-28, but it was goals from Adams, Weiner, and Jeanson. Murray's 28 saves backing Minot to the win 3-2 over the Cats for their first win of the year over Bismarck. Here's a keynote for this one. Bray Efforts, former Minot High standout in the West Region's Gatorade Senior Athlete of the Year 2 years ago, was called up to play emergency backup goaltender for the Bobcats. He didn't see any action, however. On Saturday night, the Tauros went down to Aberdeen to take on the Aberdeen Wings. Big note of this one, Riley Murphy from Aberdeen was awarded a 5-game suspension after he hit Brock Montgomery in the dirty play. 5 games for Murphy. There was a fight in the contest. Jake Diddle fought Connor Raver. Kind of a chippy hockey game that Aberdeen ended up winning. Tauros had goals from Talbot and Jeanson. Austin Park had his first start in 4 games. Park 35 of 38 shots. He stopped 35 of 38, I should say. First overtime loss of the year for Park. When you look at the standings after the weekend, the Tauros still up top at the top of the ladder, 17-7-3 for them on the season, 37 points. Not a bad mark for the Tauros. 32 points is the second place team in the division. Brookings and Minnesota tied for that spot. It's Minnesota, the Wilderness, that the Tauros will see this weekend as they travel to Minnesota to take on that club. Austin currently sits in the final playoff spot in the division, 30 points for them with a 13-10-4 mark. Bismarck has lost 6 straight. They are now tied with Aberdeen in the basement, 23 points for them on the year with the 11-14-1 mark. Aberdeen 10-13-3 on the season. Interesting note on the attendance inside the North American Hockey League Central Division. Minot currently sitting second in attendance with 1,161 people averaging per night. Bismarck is at 1,057. Minot hops over Bismarck for the first time in franchise history, but it's Aberdeen that leads the division with 1,261 for attendance as an average. Minot, by the way, 7th in the North American Hockey League in winning percentage. Not a bad year again for the Tauros. Let's look at the top 10 and who leads the way in the scoring side of things for Minot. First for Alex Adams, 27 points for him on the year. This kid is unbelievable, 28% shooting percentage. He's the league leader, by the way, tied for 15th in the North American Hockey League in points. Stolten Hunter from Johnstown, who leads the league with 37 points, by the way. 25 points for Reed Stephenson, the rookie forward for Minot. 11 goals, 14 assists for him. 23 points for Zach Bross. Tyler Jeanson, another good weekend. 21 points for the Carmen, Manitoba product. 21 points for Jack Murphy. Derek Frentz with 20 points on the year. Chase Springman, 17 points. Nolan Sawchuk sitting on 16 points on the season. Amongst rookies, however, he's got a plus 16 rating, which is second best in the North American Hockey League. Not a bad run for the defenseman Nolan Sawchuk. Nate Pionk, 15 points on the season. Jake Diddle has 14. When we turn our attention to the blue paint and the goaltending situation for Minot, it's Austin Park that sits on the 3-1-1 mark. 359 goals against average and an 88% save percentage. The guest on tonight's show, Lucas Murray, the returning goaltender for the Tauros, sitting on a 295 goals against average and an 897 save percentage. Murray 11-4-2 in his senior year of junior hockey for the Tauros. Not a bad run for Lucas Murray. When we come back, we'll talk to Kyle Craddick, the defenseman for the Tauros that suffered a broken jaw about 6 weeks ago. He finally returned to action after that painful incident. We'll hear his thoughts on the season and that broken jaw next. This is Tauros Weekly.
When you need a windshield chip repaired, why settle for just professional service when you can receive personal service too? At Choice Auto Glass, we take a hassle-free approach to replacing cracked and broken glass on cars and trucks by working directly with your insurance. But it's more than that. It's the attention we put into making sure your vehicle is returned to you clean and in proper repair. Choice Auto Glass. We're not the only one. We're simply the best one.
Applebee's USDA Choice Top Sirloin isn't just a top choice cut of meat. For under $10, it's a top choice for your wallet. Applebee's new hand-cut wood-fired grilled steak, now only $9.99 for a limited time. Only at Applebee's.
I had got a call. They thought my house might be on fire. My wife was at work and my son was at school. Smoke was just rolling out and then you'd see the flames coming up. A very helpless feeling watching, knowing there's nothing you can do. You just stand there and watch. Very emotional. Farmers Union Insurance did such an excellent job with us. I can't imagine any insurance company doing a better job. Dreams, memories, everything was put back together the way it should be to get us right back on course.
Farmers Union Insurance. Simply different.
Elevation Restaurant here at Minot Country Club continues to fill up. It's another edition of Tauros Weekly. Now joined by Tauros forward Kyle Craddick. And Kyle, I called you a defenseman before we went to the break. It's because we haven't seen you in a while. You had the broken jaw. First of all, thanks for some time here tonight.
Yeah, no problem.
Talk a little bit about that incident that happened back on the 15th of October, a home game against Brookings that suffered a broken jaw. First question I have for you, scale from 1 to 10, how much pain was that?
Probably, it really wasn't that painful. It just kind of put me in shock right away, and I started spitting blood, so I knew that probably wasn't good, and went over to the bench, and Jess really didn't say much, so I kind of got back in the lineup and started playing again. So
talk a little bit about the aftermath of that and what it was like having that jaw wired shut for just about 6 weeks. That had to have been absolute hell, hey?
It definitely was. It was a long process. Took just countless nights of telling myself I was going to be all right and keep going, but you know, I managed with shakes and I blended up everything. Got this blender that liquefied pretty much steak, pastas, fettuccine, anything I could just to get a meal on me and take the edge off.
Kind of look like a rapper still. You got the bling in your mouth a little bit. Talk about that. What's the, is that long term or is that eventually going to come out?
Well, they're just the arch bars that the wire's attached to in case I need to get it rewired here in the next few weeks, but those come out the 27th of December.
Good for you, man. Shows a lot of courage, and obviously hockey's a rough sport. You've had a good year up until that point, 2 goals, 2 assists on the season. Your thoughts on Minot, North Dakota, and this Tauros organization? You guys have a pretty darn good hockey team.
Yeah, it's real good. We're having fun this year. We're a tight-knit group. We love it. Town's great. Billet family's great. I really couldn't ask for anything better than picking a junior team to come to and trying to get further in my hockey career.
Brookville, Ohio, the hometown. You played for the AAA Blue Jackets of Ohio. Got to play with Doppin Park last year. That was a pretty neat experience having a player from your team last year on your team this year. What's that like having a kid back there in the blue paint?
It's awesome, especially Dopp. We were close last year. Park too. It's not always, you don't always get 2 goalies to come with you when you're going, but it was nice coming into juniors and having 2 familiar faces around to look to every day and just hang out with.
I was blown away to find out that you're an Ohio native, but you're a Michigan Wolverine fan. How does that go over in the Ohio state?
Not too good. I think it's me and my dad and everyone else, it feels like, at some points, especially in high school. I was one of probably 4. So even my mom and dad, or my mom and brother are Ohio State fans, so the house is divided.
Unbelievable. Looking forward to the holiday break coming up. I'm sure it's been kind of a rough go with that jaw wired shut here the first half of the season. Looking forward to Christmas time?
Yeah, definitely. Looking forward to it a lot. I got to go home for 2 weeks, even with my mouth shut, which was nice, but I'm ready to go back and see them.
Talk about this matchup this weekend, Minnesota Wilderness. They're a hard-hitting hockey team. They're a big team. They work real hard. They're a team that's in second place. You guys are in first. What do you expect out of the weekend matchup in Minnesota?
2 grind games. We just got to work our hardest, play our hardest. We haven't been really at our A game lately, and we need to pick it up and come out with 2 big wins so we can increase this separation for us going into the Christmas break.
On a personal level, Kyle, do you have a goal moving forward with the games remaining, second half of the season coming up after the holiday break? Is there something that you look to key in on as a forward for the Tauros and have a goal reached by the end of the year?
Definitely just probably producing, getting in the lineup, producing every time I get the chance. Staying in the lineup, you know, it's tough being a rookie and not getting in the lineup every night, and when you get your chance, you got to make it worth it. So just making my name, putting my name out there and helping the team hopefully get to the Robertson Cup and bring it back to Minot.
If you had one location that you could go to play college hockey, would it be Michigan, or is there other places on the map that would be a nice home for you?
Miami of Ohio. Definitely grew up watching the Red Hawks play, 45 minutes from home, and it's just a great organization.
Sure, appreciate your time. We wish you the best of luck this year, and major props to you for being a tough kid with that broken jaw throughout the year.
Yeah, thanks a lot.
That's Kyle Craddick, a forward for the Minot Tauros. When we come back, we'll talk to Lucas Murray, the goaltender for the Tauros that's carried pretty much the entire workload here in 2016-2017. Farmers Union Insurance presents Tauros Weekly. We're back at Elevation right after this.
We think the fire started in our bedroom. Thankfully, we all did get out safe. The house ended up being a total loss. There were a lot of tears. Our Farmers Union insurance agent was there the next day, and he not only came to see how we were doing, but he brought us a check to say, you know what, here's a little bit of money to get you guys going, and had us paid out in full within 2 weeks.
Farmers Union Insurance. Simply different.
We picked the right insurance company.
Looking for a mower? Look no further than Gooseneck Implement. At Gooseneck, we have the right John Deere lawn equipment for a range of homeowners. We offer riding mowers, zero-turn mowers, utility tractors, and even gators for the off-roading enthusiast. And when you buy from Gooseneck, you get the assurance that your John Deere equipment will have the parts and service support when you need it. Stop by Gooseneck Implement today and find the John Deere mower that's right for you.
If you can find a better steak in Minot, go there. Otherwise, try the biggest, juiciest steaks you've ever had at Elevation Restaurant at Minot Country Club. Open to the public all year long.
Five years of existence for Minot Tauros hockey. They've produced some top-end goaltenders and some Division I caliber netminders. This is one of those guys that looks to follow in those footsteps. It's Lucas Murray joining us now here on Tauros Weekly. First of all, tonight, Lucas, thanks for your time.
Yeah, thanks for having me. I appreciate it.
Talk a little bit about how your senior season's going for the Tauros. You've been carrying pretty much the entire workload, sitting on .897 for a save percentage, .295 goals against average, quite a few wins on the year, and holding most of the workload. Your thoughts on how the season's going? Are you satisfied with where the club's at?
Yeah, I know it's been good. We started out hot, and the team's playing well in front of me. You know, they're putting up enough goals night in and night out, where fighters focus on stopping the ones I can stop, and a few of the ones I can't, then usually ends up in a win, and wins where you want. So that's good. Gotta help having some of those defensemen back there and some real well-groomed defensemen, Diddle, Davison, some of these guys on the back end. Helps having a good decor, eh? Yeah, for sure, definitely. We have a couple good rookies coming up too, are learning and getting better every night, so I mean, can't ask for much more than that. Talk a little bit about Virginia, Minnesota. You're way up north up there in Virginia, Minnesota. Why don't you explain a little bit where that's at? It's about an hour north of Duluth, on the Iron Range. A real mining town. Everyone works in the mines, and kind of a blue-collar town. Everyone works for a living and works hard. You're a hard-working kid. You were a 4-year starter for Virginia High School and the Blue Devils. Talk about what that was like, being a 4-year starter for a high school hockey team in Minnesota. That was quite the duty right away off from your freshman year. Yeah, we actually moved to Virginia when I was in 9th grade, and I mean, I kind of wanted the starting position obviously right away, but didn't really know what I was going into. And when I kind of like started getting more of the workload, it was nice. It was a nice surprise and kind of a nice experience having those 4 years, and especially in Minnesota, in northern Minnesota, where hockey's so big, it's a fun atmosphere to play in, and I mean, I think it was good for me and my career and personally. Yeah. Year and a half now for the Tauros. What do you think of Minot, North Dakota compared to Virginia, Minnesota? Do you like this community? Do you like the weather? Do you like all that it entails? There's a lot of similarities. It's actually about
4 or 5 times bigger than Virginia. So, I mean, it has all the places to eat, so you can't ask much more than that.
Talk a little bit about your pregame routine. I see you in the hallway all the time, juggling tennis balls and getting psyched out for games. Goaltenders are known for being a little bit. I don't want to say head case. That's not the right word, but a mental game is such an important key to playing goaltender. Talk a little bit about your pregame routine and what that's all about, and the juggling game that you do.
Yeah, definitely. I think it's like kind of each goalie has their own routine and whatnot, and I kind of try to keep it a little loose but still kind of get focused. Juggling, I think, just kind of helps get the hand-eye warmed up, and besides that, just gotta try and stay loose. I'm not thinking about stopping some pucks in the next hour or so.
Talk a little bit about what makes you so good against breakaway shooters, penalty shots, and shootouts. You're 2-0 here this year in the shootout. What makes you so good on the one-on-one against some of these top forwards in the Central Division?
I don't know, honestly. I think it's just like about having patience, I think. Letting them make the first move and staying with them. I try not to give away all my secrets on here so anyone watching, but
smart kid. So coming up this weekend, looking forward to a matchup with the Minnesota Wilderness. This is a good hockey team and a team that you guys are 1-1 against here in 2016-2017. Your thoughts on this matchup this weekend, and in your mind, are there keys to picking up 2 wins over in Minnesota?
I mean, I think we have a great team, and if we play at our potential, I mean, I really don't think there's any team in the league that can stop us. If we come out and just work hard, grind out the corners, and just execute some plays, what Marty's always talking about, and they have a good goaltender at the other end, so I mean, if I try to goaltend their battle, and if I outperform him, then it puts us in a good position to get the win, I think.
Talk a little bit about this Bismarck matchup. That's what's going to come up after these 2 games, and after Christmas break, it's 3 in a row against Bismarck, 2 at home, 1 on the road. Going back to last weekend, kind of neat seeing the Teddy Bears come onto the ice, getting a win over Bismarck. Is this your most hated rival, or your biggest game that you like to play against, biggest rival?
Yeah, there's always a little more pressure playing against Bismarck, and I think if the fans and everyone around the sport kind of puts that on us, but to us, it's kind of just it's a hockey game. You know, you go out there, you do what you got to do every other night, and you just got to perform and just kind of do the same thing you try to do and get the win, hopefully.
Goal pads look good, the CCM with the maroon and black leather. The goal mask looks good. My question for you now is, what's on your list for Santa Claus this year? Obviously, it doesn't look like you need any new goal gear.
No, I'm set for goalie gear. Santa list, I don't know. I've been grinding out with an iPhone 5 for a while, so I might try and upgrade, but we'll see. We'll see how she goes, how generous the parents are feeling here.
Happy holidays, and we sure appreciate you for stopping by, and we sure appreciate you for stopping the pucks for the Tauros as well.
Yeah, no problem. Thanks for having me again.
That's Lucas Murray, the goaltender for the Minot Tauros. When we come back, we'll preview the weekend coming up. Then we'll talk to Marty Murray, the head coach of the Tauros. This is Tauros Weekly.
Meet the professionals of Trinity Sports Medicine. Trinity Sports Medicine has been serving the region's athletes and physically active population for more than 25 years. All of the athletic trainers at Trinity Sports Medicine are licensed in North Dakota and work side by side with Sports Medicine Medical Director Dr. Dawn Mattern to ensure the best possible care. Our professionals provide specialized medical care for preventing and treating injuries for the active people in our community. These medical professionals work hard to keep you healthy. But if an injury does happen, you can rely on the skilled athletic trainers to get you moving or back in the game again. It doesn't matter if you play for a competitive sports team or enjoy being active to stay healthy. You are part of the Trinity Sports Medicine family.
I had got a call. They thought my house might be on fire. My wife was at work and my son was at school. Smoke was just rolling out, and then you'd see the flames coming up. A very helpless feeling watching, knowing there's nothing you can do. You just stand there and watch. Very emotional. Farmers Union Insurance did such an excellent job with us. I can't imagine any insurance company doing a better job. Dreams, memories, everything was put back together the way it should be to get us right back on course.
Farmers Union Insurance. Simply different.
If you can find a better steak in Minot, go there. Otherwise, try the biggest, juiciest steaks you've ever had at Elevation Restaurant at Minot Country Club. Open to the public all year long.
Minot Tauros remain in first place in the Central Division of the North American Hockey League. And A couple main reasons. One of them is their head coach. He joins us now, Mr. Marty Murray. Thanks for some time here tonight.
My pleasure, Nick. Thanks for having me.
First of all, you guys get a nice win against Bismarck, first one of the year in the 4 games that you guys have played them. Teddy Bears come onto the ice as the general manager of this hockey team and the head coach. Kind of neat seeing some of those things really executed well and go well for a charity like that.
Yeah, it was. I mean, it's obviously for a great cause, and it's been fun to see our fans rally behind the teddy bear toss night. And yeah, when we get that first goal, it's nice to see him getting launched over. Obviously the biggest fear is not getting any goals that night and wonder what we're going to do, but knock on wood, so far that hasn't happened, and it's nice to see him get launched over the boards.
Talk about that game itself and picking up some good distribution on the score sheets. You got all sorts of guys going right now. You got 10 guys with 14 or more points. That has to be a pretty good feeling.
We do. We have a lot of depth. We feel real comfortable about our 4 forward lines that can contribute, and I don't know if we can say we have a number 1 line. Obviously the Adams, Friends, Stephenson line has done most of the damage, but we have a large number of guys over 20 points, and to have that contribution down the chart is something that hopefully will help a deep playoff run.
Bismarck's struggling right now, and before we talk about the weekend coming up, the Bobcats are going to be the opponent after Christmas break, and I talked to Lane Sedevy last night during the Minot High hockey game. That rivalry just doesn't seem like it's as fired up as it has been maybe in the years past with some of the shenanigans maybe, but we got 3 games with them coming after Christmas. Do you expect it to fire up again?
You're probably right there. I don't think it is as heated as it once was in the first year or two of of our existence, and for whatever reason, I think we don't have anybody on our roster that saw those first couple of years and don't really know or understand how intense they were. But I think just like when we saw Aberdeen, we played them in a lot of games in a short period of time. The intensity picked up and the tension kind of was in the air, and I expect to see the same thing against Bismarck.
Talk a little bit about that Aberdeen matchup on Friday as we turn back to last weekend, or on Saturday, excuse me, as we turn back to last weekend. You guys took them to overtime, or they took you to overtime, where they ended up getting the win. Your thoughts on those matchups when you're in first, third, and last? We talk about the parity in the league. Sometimes that really doesn't matter. A good game on Saturday night.
Yeah, I mean, you have to give them credit. I thought they outworked us throughout the game. They didn't play Friday night, and I'm not sure if that had anything to do with it. It shouldn't at their level, but they came out and we're a desperate team, and I think we talked about it here last week about those teams looking at the standings. We're almost at the half point of the season, and every game has playoff implications for them right now. So they came out and earned the 2 points, and we probably got what we deserved.
Talk a little bit, Marty, about some of the slow starts for the Tauros. I know it's been a topic of conversation for you. You guys are 8-0 in scoring, or leading after the first period. You've outscored your opponents 44-22 in the second period alone. What's being worked on? What's being said in the room to try to get that switched around so you can outscore your opponents in the first the way you have in the second?
It'd be real simple if I knew the answer to that. It's we've tried a bunch of different things. We changed the morning skate. We've changed practice kind of throughout the week a little bit. We've changed warm up before the game. There's a lot of things that we've tried to do, but I think it's slowly. I've seen a little bit better first periods. There was a point in time there, 3-4 weeks ago, we were getting down 2-3-0 after 1, and it just can't happen in our league. We did fight back and claw back in some of those games, but you're playing with fire when you're banking on coming from behind all the time.
Good to have this problem now at the first part of the season instead of at the second half of the season, but your thoughts on that same note moving forward. 2 more games before the Christmas break. You have to be pretty satisfied with this first place spot. I know I asked you a couple weeks ago, but overall in the report card A to F, where do you give this hockey club a ranking right now with 2 games left in the first half of the year?
I guess if I had to give us a ranking, I would say, maybe a B+. I think that, we're happy we're first place in our division, but at the same time, I think we have to have high expectations for ourselves. We have a lot of guys with a lot of games in our league, so the expectations are set pretty high this year, and I think we've been pretty good, but I think there's another level where we can get to, or are going to need to get out of our division.
On to business this weekend, Minnesota Wilderness. This is a team that you guys have gone 1-1 against here in the 2016-2017 season. You head over to Minnesota for the matchup. This is a team that's a hard-working club. What do you expect out of Minnesota Friday, Saturday?
Well, I think we've recognized them as probably our hardest working opponent we've had this year. They really came at us, especially game 1 in Minot. I thought we were overwhelmed the first period and then made some adjustments, and I thought we caught up to the pace of play and ultimately came out with a win. But they're on our heels. They're 5 points behind us. This is a big weekend. We could be have a 9-point gap or a 1-point gap, and you know, I know it sounds more appealing to me, but it's going to be a tough weekend. Guys are going home after the game, so hopefully those distractions aren't there, and we got to be ready to play 60 minutes both nights.
This is a team that's won 4 in a row at home, and it's a team that's well coached. And when you talk about that Christmas break after, how important is it to knock these guys off who have been red hot at home and end that first half of the season on that high note, like you said, coming back? That would be a heck of a cushion.
It would be, and you know, it's going to take a lot of hard work. I would expect us to probably have to have our best weekend of the season so far to come out with 4 points. They play well at home. They're going to be hungry. You know, and like I said, we have a lot on our plate with Christmas and distractions. We got to put those to the side and just concentrate at the task at hand for 2 full games.
I asked Lucas Murray, no relation to you, that the goaltender, what was on his Christmas list. I said his goaltender pads look pretty good. What's on your Christmas list, and what's the plan for the Murray family? You guys looking forward to a nice little break from hockey?
Yeah, a Robertson Cup would be nice for sure. That'd be, obviously that's down the road, but that'd sure be nice. But yeah, I mean, I have 3 young kids under 12, and it'll be nice to spend some quality time with them. And you know, we're going to see my wife's side of the family and my side of the family. We're going to cruise into Winnipeg for a couple days, so it'll go by quick, but it's always fun to be around family and friends over the holidays. I
think I burned the bridge with Santa Claus. I asked for P90X last year. I didn't really use it, so we'll see what happens. Thanks for joining us here tonight. Great job so far. Best of luck this weekend.
Thanks, Nick.
That's Marty Murray, the head coach and GM of the Minot Minotauros. When we come back, we'll preview this weekend coming up. Minot's at Minnesota to take on the Wilderness. This is Tauros Weekly.
If you didn't expect to see an Applebees USDA Choice Top Sirloin searing to smoky oak perfection on a new wood-fired grill, just wait until you see the price. Wood-fired steak with 2 sides for just $9.99. Now for a limited time, only at Applebees.
The investment you've made in your John Deere equipment is too valuable to just shed it and forget it this fall. Get your tractor, air drill, planter, sprayer, baler, combine, or header scheduled for a postseason performance inspection at one of the 8 Gooseneck Implement Store locations. If you schedule by January 1st, 2017, Gooseneck will provide 100 miles of free trucking to their facility. And any John Deere parts you may need installed by Gooseneck certified technicians will maintain the used season warranty for most equipment. Optimize performance and prevent downtime. Call your local Gooseneck store today.
Final Tauros Weekly before we head into the second half of the season coming up after the Christmas break. Special thanks again tonight for Lucas Murray stopping by, Kyle Craddick. Marty Murray was here as well. His thoughts heading into the weekend against Minnesota. Thanks to all the Tauros fans that make Tauros Weekly possible, the sponsors as well, Farmers Union Insurance, Elevation here at the Minot Country Club as well. Let's look forward to the weekend now. The Tauros head over to Minnesota to take on the Minnesota Wilderness. This is a matchup with number 1 and number 2 inside the Central Division. For the Tauros, 17-7-3 for a record, 15-11-2 for the Minnesota Wilderness. You heard what Marty Murray had to say. It's either a 1-point gap or a 9-point gap coming out of the weekend. That's a heck of a swing. Goals per game, 3.46 to 3.52, pretty evenly there matched up. Goals against, just about the same thing. This is a great matchup. 15 penalty minutes per game for Minnesota on average, 20 for the Tauros. Here's the X factor for me. The power play for the Tauros, 15.9% of the time converting. On the other side, Minnesota, 23% of the time they strike on the power play. Both kills are just about on par, 84% for Minnesota, 83% on the PK for the Tauros. Should be a good one. Ken Oda will have the call for you on Fast Hockey and at ProStyleProduction.com as well, of course. You can join Ken Oda both nights for the pregame show for both of those games. Visit MinotaurosHockey.com for more information. Just a quick note, after the holiday break, and hopefully everybody has a happy holiday season, Tauros are back at home for hefty seed night 2 nights in a row on the 29th and 30th. Bismarck will be in town to take on your Tauros. Those games at Minot's Pepsi Rink at Mesa Arena. Lexi Wyman will be there. She'll be performing at intermission both evenings. Then the Tauros head down to Bismarck to the VFW Sports Center for their annual matchup with the Bobcats on New Year's Eve. Tickets available for that one at BismarckBobcats.com if you Tauros fans want to make your way down to Bismarck into a hostile environment to watch this Subway Cup with the Tauros and Bismarck Bobcats. That's going to do it for Tauros Weekly in the first half of our season here from Elevation at Minot Country Club. Thanks to Mike Miller again and his staff here at Elevation for hosting us each and every week. For Ken Oda, the producer tonight, Lucas Murray, Kyle Craddick, and Marty Murray, I'm Nick Hulberg signing off. Happy holidays. We'll see you after the break. Tauros will be at home against Bismarck. We'll see you then. Have a good night.
I had got a call. They thought my house might be on fire. My wife was at work and my son was at school. Smoke was just rolling out and then you'd see the flames coming up. A very helpless feeling watching, knowing there's nothing you can do. You just stand there and watch. Very emotional. Farmers Union Insurance did such an excellent job with us. I can't imagine any insurance company doing a better job. Dreams, memories, everything was put back together the way it should be to get us right back on course.
Farmers Union Insurance. Simply different.
Looking for a mower? Look no further than Gooseneck Implement. At Gooseneck, we have the right John Deere lawn equipment for a range of homeowners. We offer riding mowers, zero-turn mowers, utility tractors, and even gators for the off-roading enthusiast. And when you buy from Gooseneck, you get the assurance that your John Deere equipment will have the parts and service support when you need it. Stop by Gooseneck Implement today and find the John Deere mower that's right for you.